The country of particular concern designation, if ratified by the Senate, would allow the US to impose sanctions on Nigerian officials found complicit in religious persecution and limit certain forms of bilateral assistance. It also signals to the international community that religious freedom in Nigeria remains under serious threat. The hearing, scheduled for 11 a.m. in room 2172 of the Rayburn House Office building and available via live webcast, will be chaired by Representative Chris Smith. The second panel will feature the Director of the Center for Religious Freedom, Ms. Nina Shea, Bishop Wilfred Anegbe of Makurdi Catholic Diocese in Nigeria, and Ms. Oge Onobugu of the Center for Strategic and International Studies. The congressional hearing is expected to review not only the scope of religious persecution in Nigeria, but also potential policy responses, including targeted sanctions, humanitarian assistance, and collaboration with Nigerian authorities to prevent further violence. On October 31, 2025, President Donald Trump designated Nigeria a country of particular concern for religious freedom violations. The move has sparked debate over rising attacks on Christians in Nigeria and the possibility of US intervention. In designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern, Trump cited alleged severe violations of religious freedom, particularly the persecution of Christians. He claimed that Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria, with thousands of Christians being killed by radical Islamists. Trump warned that the US would take action, including potential military intervention, if Nigeria did not address the issue. The US president also threatened to halt all aid and assistance to Nigeria should President Bola Tinubu's administration fail to end the alleged persecution and killing of Christians. President Tinubu, however, described the claim as misrepresentation of Nigerians' religious reality. Reacting through a statement on his official X handle, Tinubu said the claim failed to reflect the country's constitutional commitment to religious liability. He said Nigerians stand firmly as a democracy governed by constitutional guarantees of religious liability. The characterization of Nigeria as religiously intolerant does not reflect the national reality. He said religious freedom and tolerance have been a core tenet of the collective identity and shall always remain so, as Nigeria opposes religious persecution and does not encourage it. Trump's designation comes amid repeated attacks on Christian communities in Nigeria, including killings by Islamic extremist groups, kidnapping, and the destruction of churches. The bill is also before the Senate of the United States, sponsored by Senator Ted Cruz. Nigeria was first designated CPC by Trump in 2020 before his successor, President Joe Biden, removed the country from the list after defeating Trump. Bishop Anegbe, who will testify at the House committee hearing, had recently voiced his concerns over Christian killings in the country. Speaking at an event in the United Kingdom Parliament on March 25, 2025, Bishop Anegbe denounced the mass killing of Christians by Islamist extremists and militant Fulani herdsmen. Visiting the UK as a guest of Catholic charity Aid to the Church in Need, he told parliamentarians how his flock had seen their homes touched and were forced to flee to internally displaced persons' camps. The bishop said that Benue State had been attacked by Islamist extremists and Fulani herdsmen targeting Christian communities and had seen farmers driven from their land, churches burned, and priests, religious and lay members killed. He said the militant Fulani herdsmen bear down on defenseless villagers without consequence. Best Orator reporting for BTV News.